GP7 study rooms, the place you go to spam, socialize, share cute kitty pics, and do anything despite studying. Another fun thing to do is create weird glitches, but sometimes those and some other glitches get annoying. GP7 has a long history of glitches. Some are created by students, while others are more unpredictable. These mysterious glitches folded into the largest GP7 mystery. How did these glitches occur? Why are they so random? Could someone be responsible? Some even say it's the GP7 ghost. What is the GP7 ghost? Basically, this ghost haunts GP7 using annoying glitches to harass students and teachers. Some common glitches include people getting kicked out of GP7 rooms, microphones randomly muting, or participants' names duplicating. We know these glitches are very real, but how? Some students back in GP6 started joking that a ghost had created all these tech issues. This idea of a ghost became more popularized right around when TPS began the transition from GP6 to GP7. Then, right as the ghost began to die away, a student known as Caden revived the TPS ghost on forums. Forums users began creating posts with sightings and others even claiming to actually be the ghost. The hot topic in study rooms circled around the TPS ghost as well. It became the Herobrine of the Potter School. People either believed the legend, joked around with it, or saw the entire situation as a conspiracy. Thus, the awakening of the GP7 ghost. So, what is the big fuss about GP7 tech issues and a ghost? First, we need to venture back to the age of tech issues, the beginning of GP7. Let's interview Ethan, one of the first users of GP7 back in the beta versions.
Okay, let's see. Going back to about this time of year last year, they were asking us high school classes to test beta versions of GP7 as our class meetings in order to help them get it all ready for the middle schoolers and whatnot. First glitch that we all promptly noticed was that whenever I was talking and then I would mute my mic, my audio would suddenly cut and I could not hear anything the teacher was saying. So that annoyed people like crazy until they figured out that all you have to do is hit Control-R when that happens and it'll fix it. The next glitch I know of was GP7 creating duplicate rooms. There was some sort of time sensitivity to it because one day a whole bunch of people came to class super early. Super early. We were in there 45 minutes early. And then class time came and went. I'm like, where is the teacher? So I logged out and logged back in. And it turns out we had all been in a ghost room, which was a duplicate of the actual room. And the teacher had ended up in the other copy of the room. I experienced a server error today. I logged into class. It worked for 10 minutes. And then promptly kicked me out of the room and did not let me log into it. It actually logged me out of GP7, and I tried to log back in, and it said server error, server unreachable or something. About 10 minutes, me spamming the enter button on several different tabs and browsers. Then finally it let me back in, and everything was fine after that. I reported it to tech support, and actually they think it was a temporary outage on the local GP7 server, the server local to my area. So on GP6, you used to be able to accidentally delete something on the board and then press Ctrl-Z to get it back. GP7 doesn't have that feature. So someone somehow would accidentally clear the board, not know how they did it, and maybe actually GP7 just cleared it all by itself, and we would not be able to get it back. The most spectacular one, actually, at least from my perspective, happened recently, just last week. I had been given the link to the recording of the Student Center for the time period in which the Daniel 6 show was one of those days last week. And I went to the recording and started playing it, and then logged out for the night. I just left. The next morning, I came back for class, saw I had one GP7 tab, but it was playing a recording that I wanted to come back to later, so I right-clicked the tab, clicked duplicate, and then pressed stop playback, then logged into class. I thought everything was going just fine for a while, but then I saw weird names showing up in the chat box, people that were not part of my math class. I looked at the board, and then there were like drawings and stuff on it from the previous day's Daniel 6 show. So for some reason, GP7 decided to keep playing the recording at the same time as live streaming my class. The teacher is drawing math problems on the board, and then all of a sudden I see the live Q&A board pop up, and stuff randomly gets entered, and I can hear people's voices too. I was in the classroom, obviously, but it decided it was going to play the recording at the same time, so everything was all overlapping, and it was pretty funny.
How do you think these glitches happened?
Well, I think the one that I just described about duplicating the recording and then going to class and finding the recording still playing was partly my idiocracy for having not restarted my computer in like 4 days and been using the same GP7 tab for everything I was doing. The ones about ghost rooms were probably glitches, but the one about the whiteboard and the teacher's mics randomly muting, those are the ones that might not be accidental.
Ethan had a great account of GP7 tech issues, like the photo of the recording playing over the live class, the server error one, where some students got completely logged out of GP7, unable to reconnect, even though the internet worked just fine. To be fair, most of Ethan's described tech issues are expected problems in a new program. Yet again, new GP7 glitches always pop up. Like my wise computer programmer teacher once said, computers are weird. And indeed they are. So if a ghost creating all these glitches does exist, who or what is it? What about the GP7 ghost? What do you have to say about him?
Well, actually, I didn't know very much about the GP7 ghost until I heard of a bit of a, I'm not sure if this is the correct word, a bit of a scandal on Peaceful Shadows about it, actually. Or possibly the ghost of GP6, mad because, to put it quite honestly, GP6 was a superior machine.
The ghost of GP6. What's that?
My hearing about the ghost of GP6 started in 2018 to 19 year. It seemed like at least once per class, my teacher would get kicked out of the room, and then everybody would freak out and say, it's the ghost! In reality, it could have something to do with the way GP7 was coded relative to GP6. When we started testing it at first, it was basically a modded version of GP6 without emojis. So, depending on how much of the old code they ported over from GP6, I suppose you could call that old code the ghost, which could be messing with whatever features they've been trying to add.
With all seriousness, do you think an actual ghost exists?
I do not believe there is an actual ghost messing with the computer systems, though I wouldn't put it past the possibility of hacking. But my line of reasoning is that if they actually did want to hack GP7 and were hacking it and had a means to kick people out of rooms and stuff, they would probably have exploited that to a much greater degree than they have thus far.
The ghost could obviously be a hacker, but like Ethan said, a hacker would do so much more than just some glitches. Another possibility, from Ethan, is that the ghost could be old code from GP6 having a negative effect on GP7. From some quick peeks through Inspect in GP7, yep, we can verify GP6 code exists within GP7. Let's dig further. Maybe the ghost is a student. Well, many TPSers claim the throne of the GP7 ghost. Most of them are just trolling, but one particular individual stands out. Chris. His rise to GP7 Ghost came from a scandal on Peaceful Shadow forums. Basically, the owner of the website granted Chris a second account named GP7 Ghost. Not only that, the GP7 Ghost account had full admin rights. He used this power to convince people that this was indeed the GP7 Ghost. Let's see what Chris has to say. Chris, you claim to be the GP7 Ghost, correct?
Yes.
Alright, so what are some weird glitches you've experienced in GP7?
A lot of them are classified, but I will tell one where I duplicate myself enough times in a room, and I'm telling you a lot,
Yeah.
and I can listen in on all the rooms.
So how long does it take you to do this glitch?
That would be classified.
What was the first glitch you've ever done?
That would also be classified, unfortunately.
Any
Let me think.
non-classified stuff?
Oh, okay. Like I could tell you like how, but I'm not allowed.
Any no? Is there anything like not classified that I might know or
Oh, no,
anybody might
I'm
know?
not allowed to tell anyone how to do stuff, period. If I do, I have to be very vague.
All right. Can you be vague?
You have to duplicate yourself in a room enough times. That's like as vague as I'm. That's as clear as I'm gonna be, unfortunately.
How about the GP7 ghost? What do you know about him?
I don't know that much about like before I came to TPS, like the forums ghost and things like that. But like it's mainly GP7 ghost stuff I know. So I know there was like a forums ghost, then like Caden Sadich turns it into the TPS ghost or something like that. But then like I was hanging out with this one guy, and it turns out he was the GP7 ghost, and like eventually he just like really trusted me. And then like it was this year as well. He was gonna be aging out of TP or not aging out, but like not be coming back to TPS, and I can't say who it is. So he passed it on down to me. Then like I talked to him, and he said go ahead and reveal it because like I couldn't find anything.
Exactly. What's your main priorities as a ghost?
Prioritize
Yeah.
priorities.
Yeah.
Mainly just like haunt people, have fun, scare people. No, not the scare people part, but like in GP7, he doesn't really do anything else but that, like except for go to class and stuff.
So he's a student.
Yes, me.
How can you prove nobody's hacking GP7 right now listening to this conversation?
Oh, I can't because like there's gonna be people listening to it. Like TPS support is probably. Oh wait, no, that's classified stuff. Well, no, we just can't talk about that.
All right. So here's the last question: is the ghost real?
Yes, I think that's an obvious question.
Anything else you'd like to say about the ghost?
Okay, all right. Most of the pictures were inspect.
Although Chris's answers were vague, we can conclude his hacker abilities have limits. He also describes the ghost as a legacy, or apprenticeship. The responsibility of the GP7 ghost goes from generation to generation, much like the Sith in Star Wars. Which actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. Even with this sturdy story, the young GP7 ghost, Chris, can only perform glitches through inspect or duplicating, something anyone could learn. Examples are drawing on the board even though annotation rights are off, stealing slides, and supposedly viewing every study room at once. Even with all of Chris's nifty glitches through inspect, his knowledge, anybody's knowledge with GP7 glitches cannot even begin to compare with the mysterious student in the shadows. He is known as Master Hacker. His knowledge exceeds his reputation. Hello, Master Hacker.
Hello.
We will be discussing GP7.
GP7
So, what are some glitches you've experienced on GP7?
glitches. There's not really many GP7 glitches unless you intentionally make them. More of the glitches I experience are ones that I've wanted to experience.
So, what are some glitches you've wanted to experience?
There was actually this one time I was experimenting around with WebSocket requests, which are basically how GP7 communicates with you on the web. It's more like HTTP. It's like a server, but it's not. While I was experimenting with that, I found this glitch where if I kind of do something wrong when I'm trying to replicate like somebody's name or create a message and send it onto the chat, it could kind of break GP7. Like the people on there, they won't be able to see who's leaving or coming back or any messages that are coming. Well, it's not really that's sort of intentional, but like it was like an accident when I was experimenting around with WebSocket requests. Not really intentional, but I was browsing around GP7, looking at their logs they keep of students joining and leaving the rooms. And when I was looking at those, I found that you're able to find recording code. So basically, I could get the recording of this conference right now. I guess another glitch in GP7 would be like them being able to let me access the WebSocket without having any really big encryption or anything. Like I'm able to send a message with like a different name on it through the server, and people would be able to see it in that room.
Master Hacker's knowledge with GP7 glitches truly lives to the title. He has the ability to send messages as anyone into any study room, and even temporarily destroy an entire study room. Maybe he is the GP7 ghost hacker. Master Hacker made clear that there are not many GP7 glitches unless you intentionally make them. This statement does have some truth. Many TPSers, including myself, try to push GP7's limits, discovering newer and innovative hacks. These intentional glitches include stealing entire presentations, writing on the board when annotations are off, and duplicating, just to name a few. Those are all intentional, but what about ghost rooms? The weird recording glitch, entire classes randomly getting kicked, or the server errors? Let's see what Master Hacker knows about the GP7 ghost. Have you ever heard of the GP7 ghost?
Yes, a lot. I first heard of it by this forums user, I think, with the tag rclark1. Like last year, I think. The GP7 ghost right now is just hiding. He's neither one person or really anything.
Is he artificial intelligence?
Not exactly artificial intelligence, more like machine learning, which I guess is something of artificial intelligence. I think his plan is to, inside using the GP7 logs, he's going to be able to analyze everything that is happening inside GP7 and be able to predict every move of every TPS user. It was an algorithm built by many people.
Can you prove somebody's like GP7's being hacked?
Yeah, I think I may even have a recording code of him doing some stuff in GP7. Sometimes he appears, but like other people try to replicate the appearance, but like he's been actually taking forms of many people inside GP7 because he could like resume any name and trick people in the chat and then like manipulate people without even showing who he really is.
How did you learn of that?
Well, I think I don't really know as much details as I did, but I think it was like first discovered by like these other people. It was a rumor that's been happening, and these people like put on the rumor, and the GP7 ghost, it wasn't really the GP7 ghost at first because they didn't really have a name. But like once they started to get a name, they kind of morphed into the GP7 ghost. And the machine learning algorithm, it was created by experimentations on GP7 that kind of failed.
Yeah, Master Hacker's GP7 ghost theory seems crazy. As he said, the GP7 ghost is neither a person nor thing. According to him, the ghost is a machine learning algorithm experiment that ended in disaster. It supposedly takes form of students predicting every TPSer's move. How insane is this concept? I planned to interview a staff member about GP7 glitches, including the algorithm thing, but I got denied. Since I got flat out rejected, let's see what some other students had to say about the GP7 ghost.
Randomly in some classes, like 12 of me suddenly appear, and then after like maybe a minute, 2 minutes or something like that, they just disappear. I don't do anything and they just do that. So sometimes it also denies me mic access or stuff like that, but
Have you asked support about it before?
sometimes, but they can't seem to figure it out either. It was thought that like one person was pretending to be GP7 Ghost or whatever and like banning people, but then it found out that it was just some random student. So I'm not really sure what it is, but I think that it's real. Yeah, sometimes when GP7 updates, it like kicks our teacher out of class, or it makes it so that we can't hear anyone, or the chat box lags and stuff like that.
Okay, so there was one point in the math class, my mic was closed, but they heard audio through the mic. Like you could hear me and then a couple other classmates talking and like the noise. People were like, who has music in the background? And there's like all mics were closed. It was very confusing. And then we went through, I told the teacher to go through and like make every student say hi with all mics closed so we could figure out who it was, and I was one of them. It was ridiculous. So the entire math class, I could not laugh without distracting class.
Is the ghost a hacker? Old GP6 code? Chris? A machine learning algorithm? Master hacker? Or, most reasonably, the legendary ghost is just glitches within GP7? Or maybe these annoying glitches are the result of the 50,000 tabs that you torture your PC with. You can decide. Commonly, someone might say, since you cannot prove the GP7 ghost is fake, it must be real. This argument has a flaw. You also cannot prove the ghost is real either. This commits a fallacy of logic called appeal to ignorance, to maintain the conclusion that something is true because it cannot be proven false. I conclude another theory, however. The GP7 ghost is all of us. Although many tech issues are outside of our control, we seek to find new glitches. Perhaps our desire of bending GP7 to its limits resulted in the GP7 ghost. Technically though, a hacker could listen and watch our every move as we speak. Or the blame falls on the 50 tabs you have open. In the end, the GP7 ghost is real or fake. And the answer to that depends on who or what you think the mysterious ghost is. And that is the untold story of the GP7 ghost.
I mean, not clear if I have my voice and the rhythm voice on YouTube, but other than that, no.